Hello everybody, my name is Mike Guy, and in this video we are going to look at playing sound effects in Allegro 5. In our previous video we looked at playing sound in Allegro 5, and you're going to see that I'm using mostly the same code that we had from the end of that sample. So I have my header files already included, I have my sample already declared. This isn't doing anything right yet. I'm going to type the sound in there later. I'm still reserving my channels, initializing my add-ons, and destroying my sample. So just took out basically the file name and the play call that we had in the previous video, and that's what we're starting with. So we're looking at basically playing sound effects, and so what I mean by that is how to get sounds to fire off at certain times with certain events. And you're going to see it work a little bit in this video, kind of in one way. And then we're going to build upon that knowledge in the next video. We're going to make it better. So just so you know, kind of the progression we're looking at. Now what I want to do is I've reserved my single channel here, and so I want to basically load up the sound I've created for this. It's called chirp.ogg, and I've created this sound file in Audacity just by creating like a chirping siren-y effect or whatever, just cutting it real short. So yeah, so it's basically a tenth of a second sound. We're going to use it as a repeating sound effect, if you will, for movement in this program. So just so you know, that's where this file is. You can just get yourself any short audio file, and it'll work just the same for you. And so what I'm going to do is I have my key information here, my key inputs that was just set up with this shell code previously, and I'm going to actually put that to use in this example. So what I'm going to do first and foremost is I'm going to draw a rectangle to the screen, and that is going to be the basis of our sound effect. So I'm going to come up here to my variables, and I'm going to create two. I'm going to do int x, and that's going to equal width divided by 2, and I'm going to do int y equals height divided by 2. Great. Just so that'll help us keep track of where we're at. And then I'm going to come down here to my updates, and I'm just basically going to change x and y based on the key presses and play music based off of that. So what I want to do is I want to play a sound effect every cycle if and only if the cube moved. And there's a whole bunch of different ways I can do this. I could create some Boolean value that's set to true if any keys are pressed or whatever. So the way I'm about to show it is not the only way, probably is not the best way, it is just a way, it's the way I chose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do int sx, which equals starting, or is the starting x is going to equal x, int sy is going to equal y, and then I'm just simply going to say if keys sub up, so that means they hit the up key, then I'm going to say y minus equals 5. I'm actually just going to copy that so I don't have to type out so much. Do it. There you go. And then I'm going to make that say down. Oop, that should be all caps. Down. And I'll make that y plus equals 5. And then left is going to be x minus 5. And then right is going to be x plus 5. Alright. So that'll handle my movement right there. And then I want to say one more thing. I'm going to say if sx does not equal x or sy does not equal 1. So if the x or the y is different than where it was, then the cube obviously moved, and we can play our sound effect. And I'm going to do AO, play, sample. And I'm going to pass in sample, and 1 for my gain, 0 for my pan, 1 for my speed, and then my play mode is going to be Allegro play mode once. I only want to play the sound effect one time. And then null for my ID there. Great. So really that's it for sound effects. And then last thing I want to do is I just want to draw my cube. So we'll do AL draw filled rectangle, and I'm going to pass in x minus 10, y minus 10, x plus 10, y plus 10, AL map RGB 255 0 255, just like like that, and we can run it. So we have a little cube here, and when I hit the keys, we get that chirping sound effect. Now, so far, that seems pretty cool. The problem is that this program will cycle 60 times a second, so every 1/60th of a second. But the sound clip is 1/10 of a second, which means it sounds fine now. The problem comes with me adding more channels, more voices, if you will. All right. Say I wanted a second sound. Well, if I set that equal to 2, I still wouldn't hear that second sound because the first sound, this sound effect, will fire off twice. Once every time this cycles until all the channels are used up. So to play it out for you, if I take this 1 and I make it say 8, and you'll hear an echo effect when I move this. So basically, my options are this. My options, I'll set that back if you want. My options are I can play the sound clip faster so that it happens in 1/60th of a second, but that'll distort the sound clip or make it sound higher. I can shorten the sound clip through a program like Audacity to make it to be 1/60th of a second so it works fine. But neither of those are really realistic. I mean, consider like an explosion in a shooting game, right? You don't want to have to cut that explosion to be 1/60th of a second, or else it's a bust. So the third option is to create an instance of the sound where we can test to see if it's already running, and then only play it if it's stopped running. Now that's our better solution. That's not one we're going to get to in this video. This video is just a quick, like, hey, look, I'm playing sound effects with the movement, right? In the next video we look at, we are going to look at taking this, making it work at any speed, and maybe adding more sounds to it. So stand by. I know this was a short video, but just kind of wanted to show you how that works.